Today, we're digging into some really powerful wisdom from author Daniel H. Pink. It's basically a list of all the truths he wishes someone had told him back in his 20s. So you can think of this as a kind of cheat sheet for navigating what is, let's be honest, one of the most important decades of your life.
You know, it's a question we all ask ourselves at some point, right? If you could just send one little message back in time, what would you even say? Well, this whole breakdown is built around trying to answer that exact question, with insights that are both super practical and, honestly, pretty profound.
So, the original list from Daniel Pink actually had about 40 different points, which is a lot to try and remember. So, to make it all a little easier to digest, we've grouped them into a few key themes: crafting your work life, mastering your inner self, navigating your relationships, and then the big one, the unwritten rules of life itself. Let's get into it.
Okay, first up, let's talk about your career. But not just about getting a job. No, this is about building a work life that actually has purpose and a real impact.
This first idea it's a huge mental shift. We're always told to build our resume, right? Just collect a list of titles, grades, credentials. But the real goal, the more powerful one, is to build a body of work, a portfolio of actual stuff you've created, projects you've finished, real-world results you can literally point to. That's what shows people what you can do, not just what you've studied.
Ah, man, this one is so important to really let sink in. We live in a world that's just obsessed with life hacks and finding the quickest way to the top. But here's the thing. For anything that truly, genuinely matters in your life or your career, there are almost never any shortcuts.
And there's a really good reason for avoiding those so-called shortcuts. See, taking the longer, more deliberate path isn't just about waiting longer for the prize. It's on that journey that all the real growth happens. It's where you build the resilience, master the skills, and develop the kind of character that's going to carry you through any challenge life throws at you.
Ah, the classic dilemma. So many of us get stuck here, right? We get so wrapped up in trying to create the absolute perfect, foolproof plan that we never actually start. So what's the better move? And the answer couldn't be clearer. Action always beats planning, especially in a chaotic world like ours. You can sit and strategize forever, but you only really start to understand things by doing them. Taking that first, messy, imperfect step will teach you way more than 1,000 hours of just thinking about it. You know, that whole idea of taking action is the perfect bridge to our next theme, which is all about mastering your inner self. Because that decision to act, to keep going when things get tough, it all starts in your head. The way you think, what you believe about yourself, that shapes literally everything else. Okay, get ready for an idea that kind of flips everything we're taught on its head. We worship talent, don't we? But the truth is, talent is so often overrated. I mean, the world is absolutely full of incredibly talented people who just gave up. The real game changer? Perseverance. Simple, stubborn, consistent effort. It's the people who refuse to quit who actually change the world. Here's a little mental trick to keep you grounded. It's called regression to the mean. Basically, when things are amazing, when you're on top of the world, enjoy it. But don't get too comfortable, because things will probably level out. And more importantly, when you're in a slump and everything feels terrible, remember this: the bad times won't last forever either. Life almost always finds its way back to the middle. It's a great reminder to stay balanced. So how do you actually persevere? Well, it's not about these huge, heroic bursts of energy. It's about small, consistent actions every single day. Think of the tortoise and the hare. Just one page a day, a 15-minute walk, one phone call. These tiny little steps, they compound over time, and that is how you build true mastery. All right, moving on. Let's talk about how we connect with other people. This might just be the most important piece of the entire puzzle, because let's face it, our relationships pretty much define our happiness and our success in life. This is a piece of advice that, for many people, is learned the hard way. You might think, oh, I can handle them. They're difficult, but they're brilliant. Don't do it. Their toxicity is like a virus. It will spread, and it will eventually infect you and the entire culture around you. Your peace of mind is so much more valuable than their skills. Learn to walk away.
Nobody likes being criticized. It's just human nature. Our first instinct is always to get defensive, to protect our ego. But what if there was a way to totally short-circuit that whole interaction and turn it into something positive?
And here it is. This is the secret move. The second someone criticizes you, fight that urge to argue back
Instead, just look at them and ask a simple question. How would you suggest I do it differently? It's like magic. It instantly disarms them and transforms a fight into a coaching session. You get to learn something and they feel heard. It's a win-win.
It feels really good to be the expert, right? To be the one with all the answers. But that feeling is a trap, because comfort is the enemy of growth. Real learning only happens when you surround yourself with people who push you, who know things you don't. You should actively be looking for the rooms where you feel just a little bit out of your depth. That's where the good stuff happens.
And that brings us to our final section. We're going to look at a couple of deep, foundational truths that kind of underpin everything else we've talked about. Think of these as the operating system for living a good, responsible life.
This is such an empowering distinction to make. Look, a problem might not be your fault. You didn't cause it, but it can still be your responsibility to help fix it. When you stop spending all your energy trying to figure out who to blame and instead focus on what you can do to contribute to a solution, that's the moment you shift from being a victim to being a leader.
So after all is said and done, we land here, at the one single principle that really fuels all the others. After all the hard work, the perseverance, the tough conversations, what's it all for? It comes down to love. And not just romantic love. We're talking about love for the work you do, love for the people you serve, for your community, and for yourself. It's the force that gives meaning to your body of work, and it's what gives you the strength to keep going. It is the most powerful and regenerative force there is.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with just one question to think about. Looking at all of these lessons, don't ask yourself which one is the best or the most important overall. Instead, ask yourself this: which one of these do you need to hear the most right now, today? Whatever the answer is, that's your starting point.